Hello, hello, beloveds, and welcome to another episode of A Spiritual Remedy. My name is Sunshine Day, and it is indeed a joy to greet you today. What's happening out there in the world? What's going on for you? I will tell you that A Spiritual Remedy is produced by Vida Spiritual Learning Center. And if you're ready to unlock your spiritual potential, connect with me, and we would love to provide you personalized spiritual education, spiritual tools, and loving support for your personal transformation. Now, a spiritual remedy is specifically for people who are ready to give up their weapons of mass distraction, those people who are ready to lay aside those addictions, those things, those ways of being that no longer serve you, right? Those things that no longer serve them. Because I see a world where people, in particular clean and sober people, are living their best life and loving it. Let's say hello to Nancy Lisa Sepp. Check you out now with a new Lisa Sepp. I like that so much. What's happening? Where you at this morning? You in Long Beach this morning? Let's say hi to Sunny Day. Happy, beautiful day. Yes, you are a beautiful day, Sunny Day. Happy day to you. And of course, our host, Vida Spiritual Learning Center. Hello. Who else is hanging out with us? Michelle Lopez, good morning to you. I like to say hello. It's very interesting. I'm trying to find new words in which to say good morning without saying morning and good and all of that stuff here. We got Reverend Kevin Cottle with us today. Thank you, Rev. Thanks for tuning in. And of course, our tried and true Jan Ford. So glad to have you with us today. And Debbie Trojan. What's up, beloved? It's so good to have you with us today. You know, today I want to talk about the importance of having spiritual education, the importance of freedom today. And I want to talk about it because since we're in the month of July, I really want to, hey, Donna Blue, so good to have you with us today. You know, the importance of spiritual education, the importance of spiritual practice, the importance of a spiritual remedy. Now, for those of us who may be sober, may be clean, may be on that road of recovery, for those of us who are really looking to lay down those weapons of mass distraction, whether it's sex, whether it's shopping, whether it's gambling, whether, it's all those Amazon packages coming to your house, whether you have been in the drama triangle, if you have been in the drama and drama is your drug of choice, how important it is to have something in your life that you do on a regular basis that actually supports your laying down these weapons, laying down these things that no longer serve you. One of the things that I love is I think it's Recovery 2.0. In Recovery 2.0, he generalizes things a lot, and the first step is that, like, we become aware that we've been stuck in behaviors and beliefs, patterns, behaviors and beliefs that separate us from consciousness. And in those patterns and beliefs, like, good to see you, Curtis Steen. So glad you're with us today. If I'm stuck in patterns and beliefs, and patterns that no longer serve me and that separate me from consciousness. Now, when I'm talking about consciousness, I'm talking about the great I am. I'm talking about spirit. I'm talking about that life force, that life essence. Many of us call it higher power, God. Many of us have our own name for this nameless, for this power and presence that is so nameless that it that it is so powerful, it is so present that, man, and it's so huge that no name that we give it, and we give it a three-letter, right, God, but this power and this presence that we have available to us, this life force. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle's like me. She calls it life, right? Life. This power and presence that we call life, higher power, life, having a connection. Now, here's the thing is that when we are stuck in patterns and beliefs and ways of being and behaviors and beliefs that separate us from consciousness, the key is to return to consciousness, to return to recognize and to move those things out of the way so we can see clearly, so we can experience this indwelling power and presence that is living in, through, and as us. What happens with these weapons of mass distraction is that we begin to believe that we are our skin color. We begin to believe that we are our gender or our race or our sexual orientation. We begin to believe that all we really are is our national status, or how much money we have or don't have, or if we're making it rain, or whatever it is, right? We begin to believe that this is who we are in its totality, and we are not that. We are so much more than that. Right where we are is this power and presence, this life that our social identities is just that's just our accessories. That's just what makes us unique and divine, but it is not who we are. Who we really are is this powerful presence and life. And what happens is especially for who are those who are wrapped up in dis-ease, is that we begin to think that we are our addiction or our way of being or our behaviors. That's just the things that we become and that we take on. But when we recognize that we are the unique, unrepeatable, magnificent way in which true essence, right? You saw it, in which true essence shows up. Our true essence, right? Your true essence is pure spirit. Who you are is pure spirit. And to the degree in which you know that this is the truth about who you are, yes, your experience might be addiction. Yes, your experience might be wealth or poverty. Yes, your experience might be these things, but who you are is pure spirit. Your true essence, you are true essence. You are pure spirit. That's who you really are. Nancy wants to tell us that it takes intention to live our true selves. It absolutely does. And that's why it's so important to have spiritual education, because, when we absolutely depend upon what our families, what our school systems, what our ancestors have brought us up to think and believe. Now, I'm not knocking our ancestors and what they believe, because it helped them through whatever it was that they got us through and that they got themselves through. What I am saying is that what they did, we must do. So in other words, it's like, how do I just not believe what they said and actually know for myself? How do I not just believe what they said and actually know it for myself? Like, where do I begin my discovery of this power and presence? Where do I begin this discovery? And that's the question, right? Yeah, Michelle says, the more I depend on a higher power, on life, the more independent we become. Yeah, that we're no longer dependent on drugs, on alcohol, on shopping, on sex, on gambling, on all of those things that distract us, right? Now, here's the idea, though. The idea is that unless I begin to discover, to question, to really know for myself, how do I really anchor into this? Thank you, Jan. Jan is saying, my experience is mother and daughter. This is not who I am. Got it. I am spirit. Oh my gosh, Jan, I love you so much. Yes, we have those experiences, sister, friend, lover, partner. Those are experiences, but who we are is spirit. Spirit having these experiences. Spirit is expressing itself in human form. Absolutely. And then these are the experiences that we have. But because we have these experiences, we forget that our true nature is spirit and that the power and presence is already with us, is already in us, is already as us. And then we fall prey to these experiences, believing that this is the sum total of who we are, instead of that the sum total of who we are is pure spirit. And so when we have spiritual education, when we begin to actually discover for ourselves the truth of who we are, yes, in my human experience, I'm an addict and a dope fiend or an alcoholic or, whatever other quote unquote titles or mistitles we give ourselves. But at my core, I am spirit, which then, tells me and which then empowers me, right? Because I'm powerless over these things that I might put into my system, right? Like if I take an X-lac and then, right? Like I'm powerless over what that does in my system. However, there is one who has all power. That is consciousness. Consciousness. And when I'm separated from consciousness, then I'm powerless. But when I am in alignment, when I recognize the truth of who I am, I'm in alignment. I am in at one-ment, atonement, at one-ment. I have atoned. I have made it whole again, right? I'm there and recognizing this. And not from a place of being conceited or now I'm better than you, but from this place of like, whoa, if this is the truth about me, then of course this is the truth about you. How do I participate in my own awakening? And as a result of my awakening, that others too are awakened, right? And so as we, especially people in recovery, people who are looking and who are participating in being at ease instead of being in our dis-ease, it is incumbent to have the spiritual education and have that discovery for ourselves so that our spiritual potentiality can begin to be activated and that we're living a life beyond our wildest dreams. Nancy says, when I see the spirit in you, I better know the spirit in me. Absolutely. Too many times people look at other people with this jealousy and envy. And I once learned from a practitioner friend of mine years ago out of Redlands, when he saw stuff that people had or that he wanted, he wouldn't be like jealous, like how come they have it and I don't? And what is it that they got that what are they doing that I'm not doing because I need to have it? It wasn't anything like that. His whole thing was like when he saw something, it was like, wow, like life is painting pictures for him about like what he'd like or how he'd like to be or the joy he'd like to express. And he would say, now that's for me. Now that's for me. In other words, like I resonate with that. I accept that for me. I see it in you, just like what Nancy is saying here, like, when I see that spirit in you, I better know, I better know the spirit in me. And since I kind of messed that up, I better know the spirit in me. And that's key. Like, yeah, I better know the spirit in me because the spirit in me is the same spirit in you. And when I see that spirit in you, it's just like, whoa, I better know the spirit in me. I know that spirit in me much better now because I see it reflected in you. The world needs to define me. Spirit allows me to be one among every living thing. Now, yeah, the world seems to define us. It seems to define us, but when the world, when the people, when the things out there who are sleepwalking, who don't necessarily even know their true selves, when they begin to define me, they don't define me correctly. They don't define me correctly because they can't really see the allness of who I am. That's why our spiritual education is important, so that we have our spiritual liberation, so that we become free. We become free from the dogma, that we become free from the superstitions, that we become free from all of those things that used to hold us, and that we actually take the lessons from those before us in terms of discovering it for myself. The world will define me based on my age or my race or my national status, what language I speak, how much money I have, my sexual orientation. The world will define me that way. The world won't define me as spirit, as a spiritual being, as powerful, as loving, as kind. Everything that is true of spirit, of God, of infinite intelligence is true of me. Everything that is true of God, of higher power, of consciousness, beloved, is true of you, of each and every one of you. Do not let the world define you. This is where our spiritual liberation comes into play, and we get to grab the bull by the horn, if you will. We get to grab our life, and we get an opportunity now to say, okay, life, show me. Life meaning life, spirit, God, infinite intelligence, consciousness, show me. Reveal yourself in, through, and as me. What is for my highest and best? How do I become free of these patterns, of these beliefs, of these behaviors that keep me down, that keep me from flying high, that keep me from my spiritual liberation, from living my best life? Now, for those of you who've been clean and sober for a long time, it even gets better. It gets better the more we do what, where was it? Here, the more we depend on our higher power, on life, the more we say, yes, life, show me, the more independent we actually become. When we're talking about freedom, we're talking about that kind of independence, that independence from those things that kept us bound, those things that, whether it's our cell phones, whether it's drama, whether it's drugs or alcohol, whether it's relationships and drama, whether it's all of that. It's about freedom, beloveds. It's about freedom. And so, woo! There you have it. There you have it. That's the beauty of spiritual education. In the link, in the chat, you'll definitely see a link to my weekly inspirational message that was on spiritual liberation. I wanted to expand upon that, particularly for those of us who are living now a life without drugs and alcohol, without the drama, without the relapse. Those of us who are ready to take the next steps. And so if you're ready, Vida Spiritual Learning Center will personalize spiritual education for you. This is exactly what we have an opportunity to do and to be together to create a loving, supportive community of love-minded individuals. Love-minded individuals. Like-minded individuals is fun, but love-minded individuals is even better, because what we do is together we begin to grow, we begin to expand, we begin to know the truth for ourselves. So, if this is something you're interested in and about, connect with me. Use our gratitude list by sending me a text at 562-928-6460, or you can send me a text there. Let me know that you're interested in connecting and that you're interested to upping your game and unleashing your spiritual potential with some spiritual education. Until the next time, beloveds, know that you are loved. Thank you so much for supporting this show every Monday, and know that you are loved. Mwah. Bye.